Good morning. Right now, we have a lot going on in our lives. We were at school. Then, school got canceled. Then, we're doing school at home. Then it's spring break. Then we're back to school, but we're still doing school at home. Then our teachers have some video contact with us, but we're still doing work at home, but it's our teachers' assignments that we need to do, but we're doing them at home. That's a lot of change. And we can't go to church. We can't play our sports or any of our other activities, theater, anything. We can't be with friends. That's a lot of change. And with change can sometimes bring worry. Now, hopefully you're loving this right now and loving being home and having a great time. Some people right now are worried quite a bit. Some people right now are only worried a little bit, and some people aren't worried at all. But all of us worry sometimes. At Kids Church, I often ask you guys, is it okay to feel upset? Is it okay to feel sad, angry, scared? Is it okay to feel worried? And if you've been there even for a little while, you know the answer to that question is yes, it's okay. But Pastor Brian today is going to tell us that Jesus says, do not worry about your life. And you know what? He's right. Jesus said that. Everyone say, Miss Rebecca. Here's the deal. Jesus knows who we are. Jesus knows we worry. He knows who we are. He knows what we do. And so he teaches us what we need to know. Jesus is not saying that it's a sin to worry. He's saying that we don't need to worry. He knows that it's a big fat waste of time. He says, don't worry about your life. God's got this. He knows that when we worry, we take our eyes off God and we get our eyes on the bad things around us. One time, Jesus told his disciples, his followers, to go across on a boat on a huge lake called the Sea of Galilee to go to the other side. Well, when night came along, it started to get windy, really windy, and big waves came up. And about that time, Jesus decided, I want to go be with my disciples out on the boat. So he went to the boat while the boat was still in the lake. He walked on the water to the boat. Well, the disciples, when they saw him approaching the boat while walking on the water, were very afraid. And Jesus said, don't be afraid, it's me. Well, Peter said, Lord, if it's you, tell me to come out of the boat and walk to you on the water. That was bold. Jesus replied, come. So Peter got down out of the boat and he started walking on the water toward Jesus. How cool is that? Well, at one point, Peter noticed the winds and the big waves, and he once again got very afraid, and he began to sink. When we worry, we get our eyes off of God, and we get them on the bad things around us. Jesus says, don't worry about your life. God knows what you need. God's got this. Just because we don't have everything figured out doesn't mean that God doesn't have everything figured out. Just because we don't know what the future holds doesn't mean God doesn't know what the future holds. God knows what the future holds. And God knows what he's going to do to help us get through it. God says, I've got this. I've got you. When Peter was afraid and he started to sink, immediately he cried out to Jesus, Lord, save me! And immediately Jesus reached out and caught him. God's got us. Now, what's also cool is that when Jesus tells us to do things or not to do things, he doesn't just stop there. In the Bible, God tells us a lot of things to do and a lot of things not to do, but he also tells us how to do them and why to do them. He tells us why throughout the whole Bible, that he's God. He knows what the best way is to live life. And so let's listen to him and let's follow him. Then if we do those things, we will have the best life we can have, and we will have the closest relationship with Jesus that we can have. Now, as I said, he also tells us how to do things. He doesn't just say, do this and figure out how to do it on your own. Don't worry, just figure it out. Deal with it. No, he says how. So for this, he says, how to not worry is to seek first God's kingdom and his righteousness. He says, just look at me. Just watch me. Listen to me. Walk with me. Live with me. Live the life of doing what I say to do so you can live the wonderful life in me. Don't worry. Live in freedom. Enjoy. And then your worries will wash away. Most of you at Kids Church know the verse. You have it memorized, Philippians 4, 6, and 7. I'm not going to sing the song this time, but I'm going to start out with the tune just to get you going, and then hopefully you'll sing it or you'll say it with me. Philippians 4, 6, and 7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, through prayer and petition and with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. When Paul wrote those words, he is saying exactly what Jesus says. Do not worry about your life. God's got you. Bye. God bless you.